Sorry, I muted myself. You're not supposed to be hearing me anyway. It is Scott here, just getting some details sorted out, and I will be with you very, very shortly. Stay tuned for Liverpool Atletico as Liverpool pursue further perfection in the Champions League group of death. And I'll have lineups for you as well, so just stay tuned. All right, everyone, I am back. I'm ready for the start of this match. Liverpool against Atletico Madrid, a Champions League rival, certainly in the last couple years, if you will. And I am about to show you the starting lineups. Do jump into the comments box here on YouTube, Twitch. Where else are we? Facebook. So do join the fun, and I love some accompaniment as we watch the Champions League match day 4, and Liverpool have a perfect start, and hopefully they'll maintain that. Here's the starting 11 for Liverpool. We got Alisson in goal, Tsimikas, Virgil, Matip, and Trent, and the back 4. You've got Hendo, Fabinho, and Ox starting in midfield, and the front 3 are Mane, Mo, and Jota. So here we are. The players are taking the knee. As I'll get my game clock going here. Oh, jumped the gun there. And the former Liverpool man, Suarez, gets the start today for Atletico. I don't know what his form has been like in the last maybe 3 to 4 months. I do know that he has really been killing it for most of his Atletico career. Definitely making Barcelona look silly, willfully letting him go to Atletico. But he didn't play last match. I'm not sure if that was just a small injury or what, but it's always exciting to welcome a former player back, especially a legend like Suarez was for Liverpool. He did not ingratiate himself to the Liverpool fans, and in fact, he quite tarnished his name and his reputation with Liverpool fans after really celebrating a lot as a Barcelona player, and then Liverpool fans specifically, Liverpool players and fans were able to get the last laugh, particularly Andy Robbo, who doesn't get the start today. Tsimikas is favored, but Robbo is always the passion leader with this Liverpool team. Joel Matip on the ball. He gets his starting place back from Konate, who was borrowing it for a few games. But good to see that he is healthy. I don't think anything really ever came out that he wasn't healthy, but it was a bit strange that Konate got the start against Man United. But, of course, that ended 5-0, so Liverpool fans were delighted to see him involved and included, and yeah, it'll be interesting. Liverpool fans, I do certainly want you guys to join me in the chat, and as always, let me know where you're tuning in from, and yeah, but particularly coming off of the Brighton draw, I know a lot of Liverpool fans were riled up because of that match. Unfortunately, I took a more measured approach when reacting to that game. I think we actually played quite well. I think that we kind of lost our fizzle as the game went along. But listen, it's a long season, and Brighton have been performing well, and you can't win every single game. I would much prefer to draw at home to Brighton than a draw at home to Man United or City or Chelsea. You know, Brighton are not an embarrassing team, and they're not our rivals. So, you know, if we're going to have one slip up, it's not terribly embarrassing. Anyway, I don't want to focus on that too much, but I know a lot of Liverpool fans were riled up about that, as Atletico are crossing the ball inside the Liverpool penalty area, and a lofted ball to the back post where João Felix is partnering Luis Suarez. He volleyed back towards the middle. If there was an on-rushing Atletico player, it could have been a bit more dangerous and worrisome for the Liverpool backline and Alisson. But Alisson was able to come collect the ball for his first touches of the game as Liverpool are back in possession. Seeing a little triangle there between Salah, Trent, and Hendo. Hendo sort of stepping in almost as playing the role that Harvey Elliott has done so well to begin this season. Obviously, Hendo has his own starting spot, but he had been deputizing as a 6 while Fabinho was nursing his knee knock, but happy that he is back. I feel like my thoughts are kind of all over the place here, but yeah, anyone that is watching, please do get in touch on this fine Wednesday afternoon or evening, depending on where you're watching. I myself am in Monmouth County, New Jersey. You'll notice a little bit of a different setup today as my normal one. I'm in my basement here, as you could probably tell. Figured I would throw up a Suarez jersey, even though he is the opposition today. Of course, I've got two or three Suarez jerseys. I don't even know how many, but yeah, I think it's. I was thinking about having a debate-worthy topic of Suarez and a ball gets played through to Suarez. He tries to find some space in behind Matip, but Matip uses his experience and spatial awareness to shepherd him off the ball. And Suarez went to ground looking for something, perhaps a foul just outside the box or inside the box, even better, if you ask Luis. But yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I think coming into that is not a good coming together between Tsimikas and the right back, who is Trippier, who is down on the floor. It was a 50-50 ball right at forehead height, and Tsimikas really went in to meet the ball, as it was kind of more Trippier's ball, and I think Tsimikas had every right to go for that, but that was a coming together. I think Trippier should be okay, but you would not be surprised if either one of them really came off hurting there. So good to see that, and good to see Tsimikas getting a start too. I think that would be a shocking thing to say as of last season, but Tsimikas has really taken his chances in the preseason as well as in the beginning stages of the season, giving Robbo some rest. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans think that Robbo hasn't quite been at the races this season. He hasn't been terrible in my book. Oh, and Mo Salah tries to beat his man and race down the right-hand flank as he gets brought down, and he gets a yellow card. That is Miguel Hermoso, the left back, and he was coming in to press and close down, and Mo Salah just took that opportunity to race past him. And the Atleti player brings him down. And Trent plays the ball into a pretty nice area, a couple yards left of the penalty spot, but some Liverpool players had vacated that area. and Liverpool reload in attack. Sorry, as my graphics go up on the screen, I'm just, I noticed a mistake in my tweet. And I'm just correcting that real quick. And we can get those fellows off the screen. Okay. Okay. And again, we are live across platforms on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So wherever you might be following us, much appreciated. And get in on the chat. Atletico coming forward on the left-hand side through Carrasco. Oblak hurls that towards the midfield line looking for Trippier. He had to put really all of his energy into that one. So it had a bit more loft as opposed to the driven thrown ball that you typically see from goalkeepers. But Atletico did win the header, and they were able to progress up the pitch. And it looks like they are going to have a corner kick as João Felix and Angel Correa exchange some secretive whispers. Angel Correa is short. He does play it short to João Felix, give and go, and Felix plays it back towards Rodrigo de Paul. That looked like that was really coming together there, or I'm sorry, coming apart for Atletico. It's one of those where you take the short corner and then all the fans are face palming, but they did work a training ground routine where they played it back to Rodrigo de Paul, who was a good 32 yards from goal. That's where you thought the chance had gone, but he was able to slip in Correa, who can dart towards goal, and it was a nice ball from de Paul, but the whipped cross towards the middle was had a little too much zip on it, and it went out for a Liverpool throw. Liverpool were progressing through here as I was talking very slowly as Mane bolted up the field, and he slipped past one man and then got a strong shoulder barge right outside the top of the 18. So Liverpool fans probably calling for a foul there, but it was a good shoulder, and there's Diogo Jota with the opening goal of the game for Liverpool. Let's go. Beautiful ball in by Trent there. And here we go, baby. It is Liverpool time, and it is Jota with the goal. Beautiful ball in by Trent there. And let me how to change the score here. 1-0. They check for offside on that replay there from Salah to Hendo as well onside. Beautiful ball in. Take a look at this goal. Dropped it to Trent right in that Trent territory, about 4 yards diagonal from the corner of the 18. On the bounce, very David Beckham-esque, and finds Diogo Jota, who his movement in the box is fantastic. He's in between two Atletico defenders and by the time the ball hits his head 5 yards from goal, he looks wide open. Doesn't even look fair there for Liverpool. You gotta love those goals where they look offside, but after watching the replay, everything is okay. Kloppo loves that one. Boom. 1-0. And Diego Simeone is looking like he can't really do much from the sideline. I'll put a little bit of bias into it. It looks like he's a little bit worried through the end of the game, but and here's a yellow card coming for Sadio Mane, and the ref looks pretty angry about what just transpired. I don't know if it was a professional foul or but something kind of ticked this referee off as Hendo is remonstrating with the referee. I think both teams will probably feel like they've been harshly done by in terms of picking up yellow cards, one each, as Mane was getting hacked by Angel Correa. He goes down. I have no idea what that was for. I think the only thing I saw was as Mane was dribbling, he was trying to hold Correa off as he was nipping at him like a little gnat. And Jota really gets caught there by Koke. And that one looked ugly. This game, it's not going to take much to be to invite both teams to get tetchy on this one. That was a quite late challenge by Jota as he leaps up into the air after the challenge in pain. But yeah, back to that Mane card. That was definitely an interesting one. Because I think the ref had to have been talking about the arm that went up, because then what transpired after that was just a foul by Correa, frankly, which wasn't called. But in any case, Sadio picks up the yellow. Liverpool with a corner, and it's Tsimikas. Oh, and Virgil was just soaring through the airs there. But he couldn't get a connection as Oblak is able to collect. Close one there for Liverpool as they almost get their second goal of the game. Salah able to win the ball back down the right-hand side of the field. Recycles it to Hendo, who works it very quickly over to Tsimikas. Over to Mane, who's able to dangle a bit and find some room on the left-hand side. Crosses it in, looks for Jota. The Atletico defender is able to head it straight up into the air. And Oblak has to come, and he's ultimately going to get it. Him being able to, not only being probably a head taller than Jota, but also, of course, being able to use his hands. And he collects, but pretty clumsily as he kind of bundles into Jota, as he was, it's his prerogative to try and box out the keeper, stand his ground. Liverpool back in possession, move forward very quickly with a long ball. Jota and Salah trying to wriggle free of Atletico's defense. Now it's Mane who gets the ball on the edge of the box, takes a thwack at it with his left foot, but it gets blocked. He was looking pretty good there for a moment as he tried to find some space and get a shot in on goal. As Liverpool continuing to knock on Atletico's door for a second goal. Trent plays it wide to Salah. Ooh, and that they try to do a 40-yard give and go, but too much juice on that one by Trent, and it goes out for an Atleti goal kick. Tsimikas doing all right with his performance so far today. Gets the ball down the field via a throw into Jota, who plays it centrally to Mane. Mane's really getting hassled today. Oh, and it's 2-0. But before I can even announce that Trent had the ball at his feet, he takes a shot on goal, and the onrushing Mane is able to come in and just get a touch, giving Oblak no chance. He had to be onside, and it is 2-0 for the Reds. And life is good right now, baby. Woo! Mane did a whole lot of work there. He wriggles free of DePaul as he goes diagonally from left to central. Also, Angel Correa gets the ball out to Trent, who's a little bit narrower than you'd expect. He plays it. Oh, I'm sorry. He played it to Hendo, who then shuttles it to Trent, and then Mane just knows he has to get his ass right there towards the top of the six, and it's the simplest of finishes as he just rushes on, no threat of offside. Beautiful Liverpool goal once again, and the crowd is going wild. Jota picks up the ball left side of midfield, and he tries to head the ball past number 2, who I believe is Jimenez, and race right by him, but Jimenez was able to corral him successfully and regain possession. But Salah is down the right-hand side doing his normal Salah things. Oh, and it's Ox. Ox almost makes it 3 as Salah was able to find a bit of space. He goes to drop the ball towards the middle, and a couple Liverpool players, I think it was Hendo and Ox, that were both very eager to it was Trent and Ox that were very eager to both collect the ball and also take a quick shot. Oblak is very stressed out as he's trying to calm the defense down. I don't know, calm the defense down. I don't know if that is my message to them. I'd be trying to pump them up. If anything, they're too slow at reacting as opposed to really making mental mistakes or anything like that. But I don't know maybe that's the Anfield crowd getting to the Atleti back 5 or whatever, back line, as Liverpool are really punishing Atleti right now. And yeah, I mean, if we now, I I spoke very confidently during Liverpool's last game, which was also a 2-0 victory, and that ended in a 2-2 draw. And I really should say that Atletico have had some possession in Liverpool's area, so they have not been pathetic by any means. But what I was going to say is, if Liverpool um, were to comfortably beat Atletico here, not only would we remain perfect in the Champions League group of death, as it was so called, but does that kind of break a hoodoo against Atletico? I mean, Atletico, is, maybe that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, because Atletico is a very experienced Champions League team, and Liverpool's really playing well right now, and it is tough for a lot of teams to keep up with them. But I just wonder if maybe Liverpool players and coaching staff are really not too fearful of a team like Atletico, as Carrasco cuts in from the left and tries to get an effort on goal, but that is blocked by Liverpool's back line. Oh boy. A not so threatening through ball was attempted to penetrate the Liverpool back line, but it wasn't really finding the feet of the intended target of Correa. And Tsimikas just had to make a play at that. He couldn't just let it keep rolling, because then Suarez would have just been through in on goal. But he goes to block the ball, but then he loses balance and falls down, and then he does recover, and he tries to bundle the ball back towards Alisson, but he kicks it out for a corner kick. Corner kick has ensued, and Liverpool has dealt with it comfortably enough, although Atletico are reloading down the left-hand side, play a ball in, headed out by the Liverpool back line. Now it's Suarez down the right-hand side. He's trying to take on Trent. Trent deflects that cross, and well done by Ox, who wasn't really even in the vicinity of that cross, but was able to just nip in and head the ball out from in front of Carrasco. But here is Correa trying to wriggle free. Here's Carrasco trying to wriggle free. Virgil tries to clear the ball as he stretches out and makes a touch on it, but not a clearance per se. And yeah, I think it's an interesting discussion to talk about where Atletico are at. Now, again, I won't lie, I don't watch La Liga so much. Keep up with it just as much as the next fan, but are Atleti possibly, in terms of the teams go in cycles and there's momentum, and clubs have life cycles, where I'm about to compare them to a Tottenham type, where you have a club that doesn't have the resources of the mighty powers domestically or continentally, and yet you squeeze so much juice out of the lemon, which Simeone certainly has, and Pochettino had at Tottenham. And I really think that Tottenham, I'm definitely more confident in making assertions about Tottenham than Atletico. And there's probably a La Liga fan out there that's saying, what is this guy talking about? Atletico's not done by any means. But I do think that I'm not so wide of the mark in terms of Simeone. I don't know. I just look at that team, and when you sign a player like João Felix, and he's been there, 3 seasons now, does Simeone institute a plan to make the team as best as they can be as he sees fit? And you can't really argue with him, because, of course, he's an Atletico legend. But there does come a time where coaches kind of outstay their welcome. I mean, look at Pochettino, who I have an incredibly high opinion of. I think Pochettino, and feel free to debate me on this as well, but Pochettino is that half a level below Klopp and Guardiola. I don't think there's anybody close to Klopp and Guardiola. They are who they are. But I think Pochettino is right there. I mean, I think Brendan Rodgers is probably a Pochettino light. I think Pochettino deserves a whole lot more credit significantly more credit than Rodgers, but Rodgers is sort of that same style of manager that, he rubs the players' backs and he plays attacking football and there's a lot of ambition, and then ultimately he falls just short of the major prize. Of course, working absolute miracles, but that becomes a tricky thing for media and fans to assess, because you do such wonders and miracles up until then they start to expect it, and then they go, oh, but you couldn't win the title. Beautiful ball by Trent up to Salah, who he did beautifully to keep that ball in play as he was on a sprint, leapt forward, reached out that left boot to keep the ball in bounds as it was surely sailing on a bounce into the crowd. But unbelievable. His first touch is just so good as he brings that ball down, continues right in stride, and goes to take on his man, who he kind of half beats, but then, runs into a brick wall, and Atletico able to snatch possession away from him as the ball goes out right again to Salah, and he beats Hermoso. Now he's got to deal with Carrasco, who's back to help, plays it back to Trent into Hendo. Really beautiful stuff here. I love to see this stuff. As I referenced earlier in the stream, there's just a very clear triangle happening, much like Harvey Elliott brought to this team. And I don't think I quite finished the thought there as I was kicking this game off. And oh wow, were you only 30 minutes into the game? It feels like 40. I thought halftime whistle was right around the corner, but I love it. The longer this half goes, the better for Liverpool. As we certainly looked like the next team to score. And Mane is really, if you never watched Mane before and this is your first time watching him, you'd say, oh, is this guy slight? Is he struggling to keep up with the physicality and the athleticism? Because he's really getting bodied around. I think that's a bit, that was a little 50-50. He popped up on the right-hand side somehow, and he was trying to take on his man, number 18, and he tries to pop the ball past him and then run, but then the guy blocks him, which that's illegal. That should be a foul. But at the same time, sometimes you get those where the player sort of looks for the foul because he knows that, the touch is so heavy beyond the defender that, he's kind of looking for the foul. I don't think Mane was, but at the same time, his touch was quite heavy. So, I don't know. This ref is driving somewhat of a hard bargain. Whoops. Just moved my follow tag there. Virgil carrying the ball up the pitch as he's fouled by João Felix. Felix gets a talking to. Also curious for anyone that is a La Liga fan, or a Portuguese fan for that matter, how is João Felix's development going? Of course, he was the anointed one, and I can't keep track of world record transfer fees, but he's got to be in the top 5 of all time. He was 120 million to Atletico, which people forget about. I mean, that was when the market really was crazy. And it was just kind of like the stock market, just going up and up and up without really ever looking back. And then, of course, COVID hit, and, maybe the market needed a bit of a correction there. but it is interesting. It's you're kind of not really sure where the market's at because I feel like you have like there like I said, there was a COVID correction. There was a little bit of a break where people weren't going crazy, but let's be honest, um the haves have big time as much as they still ever did. Oh, and here's Salah coming through, and he had I believe Jota with him, creating a 2-on-1, but I think Salah, somewhat rightly so, was able to, call his own number, but just came up short there. And there we go. Sorry, I'm just updating my scoreboard, just in case we get the next goal of this match. Let's see. Let's throw some of our graphics up here. A lot of Liverpool fans were a little bit surprised not to get a start for this man as he comes back from injury. Hopefully we'll see him. I think regardless of how this game goes, I think you'll see Thiago if Atletico get back into the game, or if we continue to be 2-0 up and comfortable. I think Klopp, one way or another, will want to get some minutes for him as he gets back to fitness. Like I said, a lot of Liverpool fans were probably expecting to see him start today as Thiago and and Mane is tripped again here. You in basketball and in soccer, really any sport, you get so frustrated as a player when there's excessive fouling, when it's the same player over and over again. And maybe they're doing this on purpose. I feel like you've heard this discussed before with Simeone, or Pep did it with like team fouling, and you spread the fouls around so nobody in particular picks up a yellow and a second yellow. But Felipe, number 18, as Mane is once. Oh my goodness, the referee is pointing to the sideline. There are 6, 7, 8 Atleti players all around him. Here's a yellow, and he gets pointed. I mean, there's 7 Atleti players around the ref right here, so it's tough to keep track of who that was for. I thought he already brandished the yellow, and then he showed again to what I thought was Felipe. Oh, and it is a red card. I wonder what happened there. Maybe I'm not keeping track. Maybe he had already gotten a yellow earlier in the match. Oh, and he kicks Mane's from the back of the leg. There's no chance that he even was attempting to play the ball, nowhere close to the ball. And as I was saying, the excessive fouling, it's not in particular one player, but it seems like they're all just ganging up on Mane. And Felipe is off. Yeah, I don't know if that was a straight red. I'll have to find out at halftime there whether the ref changed his mind and, Mane was darting for. I can't imagine that would be a straight red. It wasn't a particularly vicious. Oh, and here's Correa flailing his body at Mane, not trying to play the ball. And here's Atletico players, let me predict, are going to surround the referee because they want Mane to pick up a second yellow. Here is who's that? Koke, who I'm sure was getting in the ref's face. He picks up a yellow despite it being a foul committed by Liverpool. The ref calls that a shoulder-to-shoulder. I don't think so by Correa, and yet the foul is given against Mane on Correa. This game certainly is getting feisty, as it will surprise no one. player of the match shouts so far, I would say this man, Trent, has really been active and playing some nice balls in. Hendo has been the heartbeat as usual. Pretty strong performance by Hendo. Mane has been very active. I wonder what Liverpool fans think. I feel like sometimes when Mane is active, and he doesn't quite have the end product, that a lot of people jump on his back. Oh, Salah wins a beautiful little ball to retain possession for Liverpool. Gets a little touch to Mane, who plays it back to Mo. Mo is on his bike, but Atletico doing a pretty good job of kind of scuppering Salah to this point. I think it's only a matter of time until he does break free and punish Atletico. But yeah, do let me know what you think of Mane's performance, or really, and anybody that you care to comment on. But I'm curious what people think about Mane's performance, because he has been active. He's been good for me, but I wonder if some people out there are a bit more critical. Also, Oxu's on the ball now. I think he's been fine. He hasn't been too active or too much of an impact on the game so far, but where he has come in, I've been pretty pleased with his performance compared with his cameo against, not really a cameo, I think he came on in the first half for Curtis, and that was a poor performance. So glad to see him putting in a more confident performance. It's just interesting. Like I said in the last game, that I think he was poor, but I think sometimes it's I'm not saying that he wasn't prepared for the game, but I think sometimes when you get thrust into that game, it's hard to sort of sync up and get into the flow of the game, and he's just a different type of player. Oh, Mo Salah fires off a real nice shot, and Oblak is able to parry it away, but that took some saving there. Mo Salah. Tsimikas with a cross, and it's Jota who gets his head on it, and it is straight at Oblak, but good effort and good cross there by Tsimikas. And for a player that's so small, name a player throughout history that is such a good header of the ball and so good at just getting himself in the right places for headers, and yet is so small as Jota. I feel like there are some out there. I mean, way back in '98, hands down the best header of the ball was Patrick Kluivert. And I don't know, he was probably 6 foot, so he wasn't exactly short, but he wasn't, like a Zlatan or Haaland type, where you just by looking at him height-wise, you think, oh, he's going to be a dominant presence, but he was an incredible header of the ball. I mean, obviously Messi is just good at everything, and he has definitely had his fair share of headers despite being a short individual. But Jota is just, I mean, he's almost becoming a heading specialist. That's how Klopp is really getting heated on the sideline towards his players. I'm not sure about exactly what, probably someone not tracking back or something of the sort. Mo Salah with this is a replay of that rip by Oblak. Nice save. Hendo gets the ball. Left central. Plays a nice through ball through to Trent, switching the point of attack. And Trent plays an ambitious ball forward. You saw what he was doing, and can't blame him, but just a little bit too much pepper on that. Suarez picked up a yellow card. I missed that. I believe that was off screen. I hope for Liverpool and the neutral's sake that we can play this game as fairly as possible. Maybe there's some of you out there that appreciate the tetchiness and the passion, but to me, that's the ugly side of the game. And I do think that Atletico are experts of the dark magic. They will surround the referee. They will clamor for fouls, um, and they play physical. Um, they play physically. So I just hope that there aren't any unfortunate challenges and everybody just stays healthy. And again, I'm just more a fan of more of a purist. We're playing, playing beautiful football. So hopefully we get more of that. Ox loves the strike from distance, and he kind of was running out a little bit of a little bit of room, but gets the shot away as a sliding challenge was coming in, and but he pulls it wide of the goal, not troubling Oblak. So they're replaying the red card incident, and they showed the tackle. Then they show Felipe walking away, and then you see the ref beckoning him back and showing him a red card. Now I wonder if that was just an assistant referee in his ear saying he really didn't even go for the ball. You gotta punish that type of offense. Or if he just had a rethink, or maybe someone said something and maybe it was a double yellow sort of thing. But yeah, it's just that was a bit of a peculiar one. We have 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the half here, and one of them has gone. So, real strong Liverpool performance in this first half. Very pleased. More of the same, please. More, just keep the focus too. I think that would also really please Liverpool fans, not only putting in a doubly good performance in the second half, but really just focus. You don't want to see Liverpool take their foot off the gas and let the opposition back into the game, as we saw with Brighton. So that's Klopp will just be asking for more of the same. Who knows if he'll give the classic "it's 0-0" and start again. As Liverpool come down the right-hand side, Hendo tries to play a curled floated ball towards the back post, but plays it with a little bit too much, and it goes out of bounds. As halftime is here, I'm going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere except for the bathroom, or get a coffee or a water or a beer. Why not? And come right back in 10 to 15 for the second half. Cheers. Oops. What's up? I'm back for the second half. So the question is, do you sub off Sadio, who has been very bright and lively, but he has a yellow card that he has picked up, so you do want to possibly protect him from picking up. Oh, and it is this fella that is going to come on and I think do just what I was alluding to. Firmino for... It's got to be Mane, doesn't it? It's got to be. Yep, number 9 for number 10. So it is Sadio who is making way for this man. Luis Suarez, the second half hasn't even started yet. Not even close. And he is remonstrating with the referee as the second half is now underway. And it's the Reds that start with the ball. I think there's pretty strong consensus that Trent is the man of the match for the first half. Turns out he had two assists for both of Liverpool's goals. Ox plays it centrally to Matip, who hasn't had really too much to do today. Finds Trent. Trent plays it to Salah, who's checking back. Salah reloads to Trent and now to Virgil. Over to Tsimikas. Tsimikas finds Ox inside the box and wasn't even trying to do that. And Ox loses the ball. Fabinho is able to win the ball high up the pitch and find Salah, who was looking very hungry, and receives the ball and goes for a strike. But it is blocked and it will be a Liverpool corner. The other action from earlier today in this group was Milan versus Porto, and that finished 1-1. Milan picks up its first point of the Champions League season, which is awfully surprising and disappointing for the Milanese fans, because they are looking very impressive in Serie A, I take it. But they aren't really doing much of anything in the Champions League, so that is disappointing. I did not realize that they lost all 3 games to start, but they did pick up their first point today, and if I'm not mistaken, the group is still pretty tight, aside from Liverpool comfortably in first place with 9 points. So I don't think anyone's quite out of it yet. Liverpool pick up right where they left off in the second half, dominating possession pretty comfortably. Now the trick will be to do something with it. Again, challenge. Oh, and Matip finds Jota through and on goal. And if he is onside, that'll be 3. Jota and Firmino embrace. And that is a Liverpool goal once again. Matip came right through and picks up an assist there. It is Jota for Liverpool's third, his second of the match. Matip is just carrying forward really nicely. Jota is going to be onside here. They're going to check that. He's onside by a good foot, pretty comfortably, but he's right through and on goal. And Oblak really has no chance there. Beautiful play by Matip. this could be a problem here. My feed has gotten interrupted, so bear with me. 36. No, I'm behind now. Let's see. Let me refresh myself here. Come on, give me 49:10 so I can keep my game clock. Oh, and I also have to change gotta change the score here. Oh, and that goal was... I don't have to change the score. That goal was brought back. I am astonished. I'll have to watch that replay back, but apparently Jota was adjudged to be offside. I will say, I don't think we've really had any that I can think of VAR conspiracies, controversies thus far in this season, both Premier League and Champions League. So, I'm not saying there haven't been close ones, but I think that there have been some atrocious calls the year before. So happy that is improving. Frustrating though that third goal gets taken off the board, and again, I'm not thinking we're gonna have a deja vu situation, but that is how the Brighton game went as well. Mane picked up Liverpool's third goal against Brighton, pressing the goalkeeper, and then it came back due to handball. This one offside for Jota, so that is unfortunate. I did also see the Red Men were quite miffed at the refereeing performance for the first half. I think probably a lot of Liverpool fans probably are too. Fabinho plays a beautiful straight ball down the line to Salah, who's threw it on goal. Oh, and he had Jota's help, but he decides to go himself. You can't really blame him, but he has that effort on goal, and it was saved. There was a rebound and he's almost getting wrestled to the ground there by Jimenez. Let me fix the game clock because my stream is a good 5 seconds ahead. 52. Here's a Tsimikas corner coming in, and Virgil is there, and that should have been the third goal by the assister of the Ghost third goal, Matip. The ball fell to his feet, and he just had pretty much all day to... Well, maybe not. I guess maybe was that blocked, or did he just slice that? But he was right in front of goal. All he had to do was just bang it anywhere on goal, and I don't think anybody would have been able to do anything about it, but he hits it wide. But yeah, it was Virgil again with a soaring leap to the near post, very similar to the first half. If he only makes connection with it, it's probably a goal, although probably less so for this one. That one he would have really had to get down. But Liverpool's still waiting for our third goal of the game. Here's Ox with 4 people around him. Somehow he wriggles free down the left sideline. A lot of applause happening for him. He able to keep the ball and shuttle it back to Fabinho and Hendo, who are trying to reload and find the point of entry into Atletico's box, as they've got 2 banks of 1 of 5 and 1 of 3 really sitting back in, and Tsimikas able to beat his man down the left-hand side, and it's Jota with a header. It wasn't the cleanest of connections. It might have even been one of those where he gets it on the shoulder, and it was just looping towards the back post. One of those camera angles that you're not sure if that's just going to creep in, and it does go off of his cheek and then his shoulder, and it's still just maybe 10 inches wide of that far post. So Liverpool have, what a ridiculous offside that has been given. They just showed the still from the VAR decision, and it's a little bit of camera trickery there where he looks well onside and you don't really have the straight angle on the replay, but that is a matter of inches, and typically during this season, those goals typically stand. But who knows? Maybe Champions League has different rules other than the Premier League, or these are all judgment calls. So unfortunate. I would be a whole lot angrier if Liverpool were in a less fortunate position. But thankfully we are, and Hendo takes a first time effort from a deflection. And but it is blocked, but it looked good. It did look good. Trent does a good job of recovering and stifling João Felix, who is trying to take him on down the left-hand side. So good defending there by Trent. I want to especially call that out because he is often maligned for his defensive abilities. Just because he is an excellent attacker doesn't mean, and his defense pales in comparison, doesn't make him a bad defender. He has his moments, but I think most do. You may have noticed as I turn around in agony on these decisions, I'm sporting the normal one today, as Atletico has a ball in. Oh, and it's Suarez! Suarez pulls one back for Atletico. That ball, that was a real happy accident for Atletico, as the ball forward wasn't really doing much of anything, and and it's a deflection too. It falls to Suarez, brings it down on the chest. He's able to line it up. He scored a bunch of goals, I feel like, for Liverpool that way. Chests it, lets it bounce once, gets some nice extension on the volley. This one happens to hit Matip, who's turning, and here's a goal review on VAR. Oh, someone. Okay, I was just going to change the scoreboard to 2-1, but now I don't have to. It is 2-0, and I think on reflection, I mean, I don't even need reflection to say that Atletico really don't deserve that goal. Liverpool have been dominant, so I think a 2-0 lead is fair, and happy that has been restored. But that's, again, strange. Some strange decisions from the ref today. I think you have to say it. Okay, offside by, looks like two players, Jimenez and Hermoso, on that free kick. They got too quick of a jump. I mean, lucky for Liverpool that those offsides didn't really have too much to do with the outcome, although Jimenez was applying pressure to that aerial ball, as Suarez is making way here. 58 minutes. Can't be happy with that. He doesn't seem like he's making too much of a fuss, but he makes way for Hector Herrera, the Mexican midfielder. Suarez has got his coat on. As does João Felix, who makes way for Renan Lodi. Interesting moves by Simeone here. Who knows if he's trying to protect goal difference or if he's just, consigning defeat here, and wants to save some fresh legs for whatever weekend fixture they have. But That's pretty surprising. I mean, now they don't have any forwards on the field. Fabinho is making way for the man who I suggested might make an appearance earlier, and it is the non-bald Thiago, who has his hair longer than it has been in his whole Liverpool career. He's got enough to spike as he gets his first touch on the ball, plays to Salah, gets it right back as he changes the point of attack to Virgil. But yeah, like I said, I'm happy first and foremost that Thiago's getting some minutes, just as much as any player coming back from injury, to get some match fitness back. Also a very big Thiago fan, of course. He's such a beautiful player, and I think this game will suit him with Liverpool having so much of the ball. And yeah. Oh, here's Ox coming down the left-hand side. He finds Bobby in the box, who shuttles it essentially to Jota. I'm not really sure wanted the ball there as he was in a little bit of traffic. He loses it, and Atletico go to bring the ball, carry the ball out of their defense, and it hits the referee, who blows a foul on himself, and the indirect will go in favor of Atleti. So we've got 30 minutes left in this half. Salah just muscled off the ball there. Here we go. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm a big supporter of Thiago's. He's a beautiful player to watch. Oh, my game clock went for a little bit of a stroll there. He's a beautiful player to watch, especially when he's feeling it. He's, I mean, the best passer in the world when he is feeling it. But yeah, I think sometimes he doesn't suit the way we play. Sometimes I think he holds on to the ball a little bit too much, somewhat like a Mr. Coutinho. Different styles of player, obviously, but sometimes he needs to get the ball and move it forward. But yeah, I'll be interested to see the impact that he has on this match. Just as a reminder, the balance of the midfield right now is Ox, Hendo, and Thiago. So that's an interesting lineup. I don't know how many further times we'll get a lineup like that in future Liverpool games, and I'm guessing it's the first of its kind. And, you know, again, we have some injury issues, not a lot of people available. Curtis just missed out with an eye injury, I believe, today. So he'll be back, and then, you know, now we have Thiago and Fabinho back. That's great. Keep them healthy. Oh, little 1-2 by Salah and Firmino. Firmino with a just little backpick. Oh, and Virgil is struck from 35 yards. Very Daniel Agger-esque. And it soars just over, but that was a beauty. I mean, that would have been... Put that in your collector's cabinet, because that missed by a yard, and I would not be alone in celebrating a Virgil blast from the outside. He doesn't have any of those in his collection during his Liverpool career. Of course, he did take some beautiful free kicks for Celtic. It's unfortunate that he doesn't quite get the chance to do so at Liverpool, but that was a beautiful strike and really nice trajectory on it, but just a little bit too tall for the goal. As Atleti play the ball in, and Alisson able to collect pretty comfortably. Carrasco and Ox came together. Ox holding his knee down on the left-hand side. Carrasco holding his beard. They both get up gingerly and kind of jog back. Good to see that Ox is doing okay, as I just referenced some midfield, semi midfield conundrum. I did see some fans questioning if we're light on midfielders. Well, I hope not. I mean, we were close to being problematically light on midfielders, but we just got through the Brighton match with Tyler Morton, number 80, on the bench. And so you don't want to see that, of course, with Thiago and Fabinho being out. Fernando Torres being shown in the crowd as he is a member of Atletico's staff in some capacity. I'm not sure exactly which. But he and Suarez, two Liverpool legends, would have been amazing to watch the two of them play together. But yeah, I think we're great midfielders wise. Again, we had the conversation during the Brighton match about Bissouma. He's been long linked to Liverpool. Who knows if that link is real or not? I still need to do my homework on understanding just what kind of midfielder he is. It does seem like he is pretty dynamic and he has a variety of skills. He was somewhat impressive, although Mwepu was man of the match, and I had never heard of him before, so he was very impressive. Am I saying we should sign him? Not necessarily, but he was very impressive. So anyway, yeah, I mean, this is such a strong team. I love to see that Liverpool are really showing this. I think I think you would lose the argument, but if you had the argument that this was the best that Liverpool have been, in terms of Klopp's reign, it's too soon for that. And I'm not saying that's to come either. I'm just saying we've seen a lot of great Liverpool football this season, and it's great to see that, considering that a lot of the media and a lot of Twitter and a lot of everybody, kind of were counting us out a bit because we didn't make any super big signings. Trippier kind of got away with a little bit of a shove in the back on Jota in the box there. I think it would have been a soft penalty probably, but yep, the arm does come extended, and it is going to be a Liverpool corner as Tsimikas comes to take it on the right-hand side, so in-swinger here. But yeah, Liverpool are playing great, and long may it continue. Still undefeated this season in all competitions. This will be a fourth win out of 4 in the Champions League. We will have 6 wins and 4 draws in the Premier League. So I'm quite happy with that, considering 2 of the draws were Chelsea and City. That's easily acceptable or forgivable. And then a draw against Brighton and forget the other one. But anyway, here is a shot from 60 yards from Atletico, really getting desperate now. Alisson didn't even seem to be really off of his line as he watched it roll out for a goal kick, as Liverpool take that as a possession donation. Here they're showing there's a bit of a scramble during that penalty box during that last corner. And Jota was sort of bundled over, and then it seemed like he was almost sort of stepped on. So it looks like Jota's maybe the new Mane that's being targeted as being super physical this half. To me, I don't think that's an accident. I think that they have targeted both Mane and Jota, and some people might be thinking, oh well, why not Salah? And I think, I would think you would want to target Salah too, but I also think that they're cunning, they're pretty smart. Oxlade-Chamberlain receiving treatment here in the 69th minute. He doesn't look too distressed, but it looks like a knock, and the trainer is on the field. I wonder if he'll get subbed or if he'll sub himself. Thiago's giving him a hug as Ox covers his mouth, and they're talking. Ox is jogging toward the sideline. I wonder if he looks okay. I think he'll continue, but I think he has to exit because the trainer came on. Now the trainer's talking to Klopp. And I lost my train of thought. So we got 10 versus 10 right now. Again, remember, Atletico got the red card. And, apparently Felipe got sent off. He had a yellow for the challenge, and then that turned into a red once he ignored the referee. Didn't like that too much. Salah giving number 22 some trouble down the right-hand side, wins Liverpool a throw-in, throw it back to Trent, who plays a ball intended to go back to Matip. It was a little bit wayward, so Alisson comes and helps out. Ball at Virgil's feet. He plays a long ball towards Tsimikas, who gets a little bit of a skid header on it, and Jota tracks it down, and it's out for a throw-in. So yeah, Liverpool just having a great season. I'm really enjoying it. I'm with fans thinking that 4 draws isn't acceptable. Relax. It's you've drawn some games that you feel like you should have won, but Klopp is at the helm. We are 3 points off of Chelsea. It is very, very early in the season. Not or I guess it's just over 25% complete. And we're rolling. We have West Ham on Sunday, so tune in for that stream. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way we're playing. And I don't think we have anything to worry about. I actually think, based on what I've seen from Chelsea, I think they're a strong team, but I think ultimately they scream like a third place team to me. Atletico, DePaul is on the floor, and he is writhing in pain. He is saying that he was stepped on. It was Firmino. Oh no, it wasn't Firmino. It was Henderson. That was not even unbelievable. Hendo is very perturbed at a foul being called against him. I think that play acting won that free kick for Atleti, and they play a somewhat of a quick one down the right-hand side for Cunha, as Tsimikas gives him a hassle over there, and Ox comes and helps out. So Ox is back on the field. Good to see. Let's have a look and see who's on our bench today. I would love to see Taki get in and show what he can do. Again, Klopp take someone off, save some fresh legs, and give Taki 15 minutes and show what he can do. Let him come into the game. We bought him basically off of the back of a Champions League performance against us. He can obviously do it in the Champions League, so I would love to give him a run out. You also got Divock, Tyler Morton, Nico, Andy Robbo, Big Nat, Konate, Kelleher, and Adrian on the bench. So plenty of options there. Firmino heads it forward to Ox as Liverpool were trying to, or at least hinting at countering forward. But it was a little bit of a wayward pass, and everyone is back now and set up for Liverpool's next attack. Hendo to Matip. I wonder what we'll get in terms of lineup as we take on West Ham on Sunday. Oh boy, Thiago, not for the first time, has given the ball away to Atleti, and they are on the break. And they take a shot, and it is wide of the goal. Hopefully that wasn't a deflection off of Virgil. Completely unnecessary from Thiago. We've seen him do that a handful of times in his Liverpool career. He's dribbling, he's comfortable, and DePaul gets a little toe poke, and Correa runs free. And that was a 2v2. Then it opens up for Hector Herrera. They play it over to the other side. He has plenty of room Luckily, he muffed it and it goes wide. Come on, Thiago. He's gotta be crisper with that. And Firmino, I think, is subbing himself off here. He has picked up a little bit of a knock, and looks like Taki is getting ready. Let's go, Tak. I don't think I even... Do I have a Taki gift? That's a crime if I don't. Ah, I do not. Let's see if I can throw one together. Next time. Next time I promise to be equipped with the Taki GIF. I don't believe he's on yet. I think we're probably down to 10 men as he gets ready and we're getting the substitution ready. Excuse me. Ox reloads to Matip. Over to Thiago. Virgil, some pretty low tempo stuff here from Liverpool. I'm giving myself issues. I should just keep it simple. Taki will wait until next week. Hendo plays the ball out towards Salah. Salah takes on Lodi, and there's so many little things that happen with Salah that are just so frustrating. There's little fouls that just get overlooked because you say, oh, it's nothing, but it impacts the play. The player's down on the floor, it hits his arm, and it's actually Divock Origi that comes on for Firmino. And Ox is going to make way as well. Maybe that'll be Taki's moment. But I was saying with Salah, it's so frustrating because you get these little tussles with opponents and they grab him and then he continues to play and the ref has to love to see that. But then the play, the advantage goes. And it's just a problem because you can't be grabbing players and get away with that. You really need to punish that behavior because then, Salah, he's not able to play his game. But anyway, look on the bright side. We're 2-0 up. I can tell I'm getting tired. Liverpool cruising right now. Cruising. How about we get a little... Wouldn't we all be happy if we got a little bit of this? Thiago. Klopp looking relatively pleased, but serious on the sideline. Taki wins the ball, comes away with Salah, who does get fouled. King Kenny in the stand today. I don't think he'll be missing too many matches as Liverpool continue to be in red-hot form. Oh, I messed up my game clock. There we go. Thiago puts a challenge and wins the ball. And it's with Trent. Plays it over to Tsimikas. Tsimikas, I would give a solid 7 out of 10 performance today. Nothing too great. I mean, some fans might even give him higher. Some real good effort. Some good crosses in. And that's great to see too. I mean, that's a really important thing, that we've got a backup left back that is capable of coming in and really showing, at least on a few game basis, that there's not too much of a drop off with your world-class starting left back in Robbo, giving him a break. He gets out of form, he gets frustrated, whatever, picks up a yellow. You can put Tsimikas on there, who is a natural left wing back. You're not plugging, octagonal shaped players in round holes. I made that too complicated, but you don't have Milner deputizing back there. He's good too, but he's not the natural left back, as much as he has gotten more comfortable playing the position. But yeah, Tsimikas, that's a really important thing, that I feel like that's what takes a great team and just elevates them even more, because what people do realize and give, thought and importance to is injuries. People realize that injuries can define seasons, and how big your blip is or whatever. Those things matter. It's not always. Well, anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. I was going to say, it's not always like the best team on paper or the best individual performance. Like, let's say Chelsea wins 7-0, which they did against Norwich. That's not what wins a league. It can be the difference, whether you realize it or not, that, Tsimikas came on and that stability allowed Liverpool to go and notch a 2-1 victory or 3-1 victory. I mean, a lot of time, again, Brighton's a very good example. That game ended 2-1. That game could have easily been 5-0 Liverpool. And that's just the ebb and flow of the Premier League and the beauty of football. That, here I'm saying, a Liverpool fan, drawing 2-2 with Brighton is a beautiful thing. You have to keep your intensity up. You have to finish games out. And I appreciate that. I think it's a meritocracy. Oh, beautiful little drag and push by Salah. Left his defender on the ground, and really nice ball by Thiago in the box, but Atletico able to intercept and play it away. Trent plays it to Salah, who's going down the right side, and no whistle. Oh, and he played it centrally for Jota, for really anybody just to get on the end of, but Jota was closest. He just was a couple yards too far away, as an Atletico player was able to jump in and sweep clear. Oh, that was beautiful by Salah. Salah, you can tell is frustrated, but he's wearing a smile. So that is good to see. Either is fine to see. It's just Mo Salah is the best smile in the world. Him and Genie Wijnaldum could light up any room, I would say. But, so it's always good to see his smile. If he's really frustrated. Oh, and Divock Origi with a nice touch in the box. The way the ball was behind him, you were sort of licking your lips thinking about that. What was it? Preston match, the back heel. Divock Origi has had a really. Let me ask you this: does Divock Origi have one of the most misleading, important careers that can be defined by a YouTube compilation? Oh, and Taki Minamino is not going to get his goal in this match because Jota was elevated himself. Oh my goodness, that scared the hell out of me. He picks up a yellow card. As the referee had the yellow card in this hand, he goes to show, you can't put your foot up that high, and had the red card in his left hand. I don't think he realized he was doing that. And then the ball fell after that challenge, and Taki was able to blast it home on the ground. So unfortunate that I do think that probably was a foul. Although it's interesting because growing up, you always had dangerous play, if you raise high boot as a foul. But then you watch, this level. You watch in the professional game, it never was a foul. And then I don't know when that changed. Maybe 5-10 years ago they changed it where you could just be penalized just for dangerous play. It used to be just like, oh yeah, if you put your boot up there and then you kick the guy in the face, okay, that is a foul because it's a foul. It's not necessarily just because you have the boot near someone's face. As Liverpool come forward here, it was Taki to Divock, the Carabao Cup Hall of Fame duo. Trent plays it to the back post, and it's Origi who tries to get ahead on it. Oh, and it's Hendo with a nice drive, but it is saved again by Oblak. Really nice connection by Hendo there. It's pretty good. Anytime you have volleys or half volleys, I love to call those out and say, Ox is so good at those. He's so technically good, which he is. But I guess what I don't realize is that's, pretty close to like Liverpool's whole team. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it about Hendo prior to this match, but he's made some really clean connections. Ox obviously can catch the ball as sweet as any. Naby Keita has showed us this season that he's a volley enthusiast. Mo Salah, of course, you're not surprised in the slightest if he makes a great connection. Mane's, more I would put into the acrobatic and athletic, sort of realm if he's volleying the ball. But yeah, a lot of really good, clean connections. Thiago as well. He's a very technically gifted player, so can't really quote some Thiago volleys, but I bet he's got it. And Fabinho too. I mean, he's Bambi on ice. He looks awkward as hell, but he also is very technically gifted, even if he makes it look very awkward. I mean, obviously that Thunderbolts against Man City in the title-winning season showed us that he does have some athletic attacking prowess, I should say, to him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he could make a sweet connection as well. Thiago doing some fine, albeit last gasp defensive work. Taki does a nice step over and draws a foul in Liverpool's defensive area, as there is a minute and a half left of normal time. Happy to keep a clean sheet That's always good. We haven't really had much of them, and it's not an issue for me. This isn't like the helter skelter Klopp team of the 2017, 2018. We concede some, but we're going to score more than you. We're still a good defensive team, even if we're giving up goals. I would maintain that. I do think that we are a very good defensive team, even if we let 2 goals in a number of consecutive games. That doesn't really worry me. And again, we are outscoring you, if that's the case. So once again, just another way of putting how pleased I am at Liverpool's performance this season. Klopp is a magician, and we are delighted to have him on our bench, although he's very often sitting, very seldom sitting, I meant. Jota is still trying his darndest to really make something happen. There are 4 minutes of stoppages in the game. So yeah, just to plug, as I will probably sign off swiftly as the final whistle goes. Join me on possibly Saturday too. Saturday is the Manchester Derby. That's an early one here in the United States. I think we turn back the clocks on Sunday, so I think we still have that 1 hour difference opposed to what it normally is with the early fixture being at 8:30 a.m. here. So I think I might do a stream for Man City, Man United. That certainly has a whole lot of sex appeal to it, and there's going to be an interesting headline coming out of it, whichever way it goes. Of course, United is back to going seesaw mode with Ole. Ole's at the wheels. That's what he does. You knew that they were going to respond against Tottenham off of the drubbing that Liverpool handed to them. Just because Ole's, oh God, Virgil with a terrible pass, and Matip fouls him, and Matip has a temper tantrum as he picks up a yellow card. But he feels he got the ball. I'll be interested to see on this replay. And Virgil is going to be blushing there because he passed it directly to Cunha. Oh no, Matip got 0 of the ball there. Oh no, he did. He got a toe poke on the ball there. Wow. That's something that I didn't even see the toe poke on the replay. So the ref missed that one. But as I was saying, I should be live Sunday for West Ham versus, or is it, are we home or away? Regardless, Sunday, 11:30 Eastern. Sunday, 11:30 Eastern. Yep. Atletico have one final chance here for a consolation. There's Trippier and DePaul standing over it. It's DePaul who takes an effort, and he tries his luck against his look-alike Allison. They do actually look somewhat similar there. And Simeone is looking pretty disappointed and looking a little hopeless. Nat Phillips coming on for Trent. Trent, man of the match. I wonder if that's what that's about, but it's probably just to give him an ovation because he was excellent today. Excellent. Trent, thank you, sir, for your contribution. Allison takes a long goal kick and he falls. Hopefully he didn't pull a hamstring there. And Jota collects the ball as here comes the full-time whistle. Must be. No. Plays advantage and Divock shoots one to the moon from 35 yards. And that must be it. Klopp's got a nice smile on. Alrighty, folks. Thank you for joining me. Great to be on all the different platforms. Follow me on all of those, including Twitter. And I will catch you next time for West Ham versus Liverpool or Man City versus United.